I mean, I was talking at the top of the show that, I mean, we thought the markets, along with everybody else, thought that the elections would be over, done and dusted by now. But I'm looking at the losses today compared to the rally that we saw last week. So can we tie today's major losses to the fact that the elections were postponed?
Absolutely. You saw a market that closed on Friday, upbeat, positive. We had been on a gaining streak. And if you look at from the end of January till Friday, the market had gained about 7%, right? And, you know, a lot of these gains that was on the back of the fact that you are slowly coming to the end of the pre-election season and you're about to have the election cloud out of the way. But then, you know, a few hours just before the polls were scheduled to open, there was the announcement of the postponement. So this is very much expected that the market will react like this. And if we just look historically, in 2015, when there was the announcement of the postponement, even though it was 6 weeks, the market opened down, lost about 2% on the Monday. Even it was the postponement was announced during the weekend. So on the Monday of that 2% down, for that week it lost about 6%. So not to speak about a market where a postponement that came just hours before.
Just hours before the elections. And it's funny because last week we talked a lot when we saw the market rallying, and I remember asking, you know, a couple of analysts, I thought that by now, I mean, there will be lots of cautious trading investors who sit on the fence and just, you know, wait out, you know, just wait for the elections to come and go and then come back to the market. But we saw that rally. I mean, not particularly typical of, I mean, in the run-up to an election, and we saw that positivity, and now elections are postponed. Do you think that this is a big hit for investors, or they just say, okay, fine, we're back to the usual cycle of, you know, uncertainty when it comes to elections, let's just, you know, wait it out? Or is it, do you think it's bigger for them this time?
I think it's a bit bigger because the difference between 2015 and now is because the market, the investor sentiment in the market was just starting to recover. We had just seen a few weeks of large inflows into the INE-FX window, into the equity market as well. So, you know, they had just started to recover and to pricing where the, you know, Nigerian equities currently are, and of course they are still very much attractive. So I think it's very significant, but we'll see a lot of waiting on the sideline because you've taken positions. Now you want to see, you know, you'll be cautious. You're not going to put more into the market, and you just want to see where things are going to end. The possibilities are now wider. When it was Friday, most people expected that, you know, all we'll have to deal with is the outcome, but now you have to deal with the postponement, the few days, what will happen in the days before, and if there's another postponement.
It's not just about the postponement, the fact that, I mean, there is the accusations and counter-accusations, and the fact that it would appear that this week we could see we'll have a complicated week and perhaps an even more complicated election. Do you think that even adds more to the uncertainty?
Definitely. So like I said, the possibilities now widen. What's going to happen even before? Are we going to see another postponement? And then, you know, it was already a highly contested election. Now this just brings a lot more uncertainty. And one thing the market doesn't like is uncertainty. And that's the effect of what we're seeing, this knee-jerk reaction to the news so far. I think later during the week, we may see some, you know, some bargain buying.
I mean, it's also, I mean, we're also having full-year earnings out. Transcore is out, and I'm thinking, could that be a good distraction for investors? Something, I mean, some kind of a silver lining, if you will.
Well, unfortunately, if you look at maybe Nigerian breweries, the results came out negative, so that's even more negative for them. I think the cloud is going to be a bit much bigger than the individual earnings. I think the elections definitely take the cake over the earnings season for now.
Now, I'm looking at the key energy indicators, like the banking, consumer goods, industrials, I mean, losses of over 2%. I'm thinking, could we see such steep losses going into the week, or could we see reduction, maybe just a softening?
I think we'll continue to see the losses, but later towards the middle of the week, I think we could start to see some bargain buying, because at the end of the day, those people on the sidelines are still looking for sort of attractive prices to enter into the market. So the losses are likely to soften, but then the important caveat is the news flow in the market. Any negative news flow, the market is very ready to react.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ifedayo, for your